Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'll be doing a solo playthrough of Revenant. And I'm going to do my very best in this video to do a solo teach as you play. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I am excited to play a solo game of Revenant today. This will be the first time I'm putting Revenant on the channel, and my intent in this video is to sort of do a learn as you play. Time of recording, I've not done a rules refresher video yet. I've played it twice solo from start to finish, and I'll try and give you more of my thoughts at the end, but so far I think, I enjoy the game. I like it. I'm happy to play it. I don't feel like I've got a really good grasp on how I'm supposed to win yet. I have not won yet. I'm still pushing buttons and pulling levers to try and figure out how everything works. But if you didn't know, I did receive 3 new games recently: Revenant, The Old King's Crown, and Vestige, and I had my coffee contributors had a poll available on my coffee page to decide the order in which I put those on the channel, and Revenant is ahead in the polls, so that's why this video is coming out first. This should be coming out on Friday, July 31st of 2026, and I am at that exact time at Gen Con. So if you happen to see me at Gen Con, be sure to say hello. I will stop and say hi to everybody who's wearing any Table for One merchandise, because I've got like t-shirts and the like available. But going into this video, I am assuming you know how to play the base game of Revenant, so that's the multiplayer version. If you don't, be sure to check out videos on other channels. I know there's other videos out there. The official one was done by Gaming Rules, so you can head over that way if you don't know how to play the base game. But I'm going to be telling you how to play the solo game, and I will have separate chapters, so be sure to click on those to find the pieces you want. But I'm going to complete I've started the setup already. I'm going to complete the setup for solo mode to kind of show you what's different. And then I'm going to, as I said, sort of teach as I go rather than teach all the rules up front. But I am playing as the blue player today. I am Scientist B, I believe, the frigate board that I've got here, which I don't think are labeled anywhere with like a name or a descriptor. But there's a couple of bonuses here for data cubes and then a few for void residue. And I am playing against the yellow player. This is the yellow corrupted crew. And what else? I won't be using the minis today. I'll just be using the cardboard cutouts, but I do have the minis. But these are multi-layer cardboard. I think this should be fine and probably easier to see on camera and from this angle, considering my minis are just gray and not painted. And there are 3 difficulty settings for this game on solo: trouble, hardship, and voidfall. That is easy, medium, and hard respectively. I've only played on medium, and it's been kind of close, but I did lose both times. I'm going to play on medium again today, so that is the hardship difficulty level. So when you play on easy, you can see I start at 0 on all the tracks. The corrupted crew would start on 1 on all the tracks for easy, and then all the bonuses for the second spot would still be there, and they would be at space 3 on the tactics track. If you're playing on medium like me, then they start on 5 on the tactics track, space 2 on all of the influence tracks, and you get rid of all those bonuses. And then if you play on the hard difficulty, then they start on 3 across the board here, and they still start on 5 on tactics. So you can see I'm set up for medium difficulty. And as for the main board, of course, we've got the Revenant out in the middle here. We've got our rifts starting in sectors 1, 3, 5, and 7 as normal. We have 3 random planets in 2, 5, and 8, each with a data cube, of course. And then we have 2 Voidborn fleet or corrupted corvettes in every sector except for 5, which just has 1. And so now I'm going to set up all of the ships, which is not different than the normal gameplay mode, but it is still a little bit complicated, so I just wanted to do it on camera. So first I've got my arc ships, and the nice thing about these cardboard ones is you can kind of shuffle them as you might shuffle some cards. They're not too easy to mix up upside down to randomize where they're going, but you're going to put 1 arc ship in sector 1, like so. So we've got, Belatan here in sector 1, right out in front of the Revenant, and then we'll put 2 of them in sector 3. We've got Yarvek and Novaris, 1 in sector 4. That's Dunloric, 1 in sector 6. Xenor, and the last 2 in sector 7, which is going to be Fenrax and Cheveus. All right. Next, we'll put out our 7 fighters. Again, I will shuffle these. And you're going to put one fighter in every sector with the exception of Sector 4. So no fighter in Section 4. All right, these are sort of shuffled. So we've got Belatan. I'll come back to that in a second. Novaris, Xenor, Fenrax, but that's Sector 4. We skip it, so that goes to 5. We've got Yarvek, Dunlork, and Cheveus. So if you have a fighter and an arc ship that are from the same house in the same sector, you swap the fighter with the next available one clockwise that will also not have the same house arc ship in that sector. So for example, if this was Yarvek and this was Novaris, we would swap Yarvek with Fenrax here. But anyway, Belatan and Novaris will switch. It's fine. Xenor, that's okay. Nothing there. No arc ship there. That's Yarvek and Xenor. Dunlork, Cheveus, Fenrax. Okay, we're good. Next, we're going to do drop ships. So we're going to shuffle these, and we will place a drop ship in every sector except for Sector 6. So I'm going to put one in one, and these can match anything else that's in that sector. No big deal. So here we've got Yarvek and Yarvek. That's fine. You just leave it. I'm going to skip Sector 6. And, double up Cheveus there in Sector 8. Okay. Now, in solo mode only, you pick 3 different sectors of your choice and remove one Voidborn Corvette from that sector during setup. And so I will come back to that. I would like to have more information first, but I just wanted to point that out. We do have a couple of reminder cards here as well. And then we've got these for like action selection cards for the corrupted crew. So I'm going to try and shuffle these up best I can. One of the cards is double-sided, so you just try not to look at it. You shuffle these, and then you make a grid of 4 like this, and just make sure this one's the Revenant. Make sure it's the A side up. It's labeled in the bottom right corner, A and B, and it'll be flipping throughout the game. So you put these down, place this Advanced Tactics reminder token in between the top 2 cards, and then use this Captain's Cube from the Corrupted Crew and place it on the card in the top right, which in this case is the dropship. All right, now I've got to set up 2 hidden influence decks, and this is the most annoying part of playing solo, is setting this up. The game does come with envelopes, so that you can see I've got all 9 of the Xenor cards here, so that you could take all 9 of these cards and put it in an envelope. So then you've got 7 envelopes, each with 9 cards for its house, and you shuffle the envelopes. But I find that with the sleeved cards, the envelopes don't really hold the cards well enough, and the envelopes are starting to come apart a little bit. So what I do instead, let me make a little bit of room. I know this is nice and organized, but what I do instead, and this has been fine, I've got my 7 different houses already separated, and I just kind of move the stacks around until I don't remember what is where. So just sort of do this until I lose track of what houses are which at this point I've kind of already lost track. I haven't, try not to mix them. I wasn't really paying attention when I put them down, and I kind of had the stack set up yesterday. So, okay, I have no idea what's what. Great. So I'm going to take any one stack, take 7 cards off it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't look at it. Take any other stack. How about this one? We're going to take 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take another stack. How about this one? We'll take 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. And then finally, take another stack. How about this one? We'll take 2 cards. 1, 2. All right. These cards here are the Corrupted deck. It's got another name. Let me check. That was pretty close. The Corrupted House deck. So you just want to shuffle this up really good. I'll do that off to the side in a minute. So this will be the Corrupted House deck, and this is kind of going to drive what the Corrupted Crew does. So you can tell based off the amount of cards I took from various houses, they're going to prefer some houses more than others, and then a few of the houses aren't in that deck at all. The rest of the cards all go together and will need to be shuffled, and this will be the normal hidden influence deck that I will have access to. So again, it'll be a little unbalanced. I won't have access to the cards that they have. So let me just take these off to the side for a second and shuffle them. All right, so both decks have been thoroughly shuffled. This is the main hidden influence deck, and I take two cards off the top to start with. So it looks like we got Fenrax and Belatan. And table space is at a bit of a premium, so I'll keep the decks off screen, along with any other decks you don't see right now, of course, are off screen. All right, so now I've got these starting agenda cards. This one is to have 4 or more drop ships. That one shouldn't be too bad. I've had success in the past. The one with the shuttles, I think it was 5 or more shuttles. Maybe it was 4 or more shuttles, but I had success with that. And then surprisingly, the one with the arc ships, 4 or more arc ships, that game went poorly. I did not achieve it. But 4 or more drop ships at the end of the game, I'm going to aim for. And then 6 influence. I get to choose one of these cards for having either 3 or more cadet cards or 5 or more command cards, played or in play. And I'm going to go for the cadet cards. I have a hard time with the command cards. I haven't quite wrapped my head around how to do that effectively. So these are things I'm going to try and score for. So I'm going to try and do some stuff with my cadets. And then I do get to, I get to draw 3 cards. That's 3 operation cards, one from each deck. And then each one I have the option to mulligan. So let's take a look at the 3 cards I've drawn here. These are the cadet, frigate, and command card from left to right. So I've got brawler. Cadet card, when that cadet does damage, they can do 1 extra damage. When they move, they get 2 extra movement. And after moving, 1 extra energy for every 2 unused move steps. That's interesting. I like that a lot. For frigate, we've got homing torpedoes. When your frigate does damage, you can do 2 more damage in the same sector or an adjacent sector, and you can choose for each damage. I really like that. I've had success with that card in the past, so I like those first 2 a lot. The third is brain stimulation. Command card, so you can, it looks like, play a cadet card for free or upgrade your captain and then gain a new operation card. So those all sound pretty good to me. I'm going to keep them. So I'll put the 3 cards in my hand here, and I might like to try and combo brain stimulation, that's a Belatan card, with going to a Belatan ship, so then I can play it for 1 less resource. So I could play it for 1 science and 1 of something else, allow me to play this card, which would draw a new card and play another card for free, like homing torpedoes. So that could be pretty neat. And wow, I'm realizing the brawler and homing torpedoes combo, if I use this cadet to use the frigate and do some damage, they could do 1, 2, 3, 4 damage, in 1 shot and get some extra movement or some energy. That's very potent. I like that. Okay, so now I need to place my frigate somewhere, and to do that, I choose any 1 house, gain 1 influence on that house track, and then place my frigate in their arc ship sector. I think I have some interest in going to Belatan, actually. So I'm going to go up 1 with Belatan, place my frigate in the Belatan sector, which is sector 1 here. Cool. And now, as I mentioned before, I get to remove 1 Voidborn fleet from 3 sectors of my choice. And with my frigate here, I can plan on having, in the skirmish phase, some effect on these sectors as long as I stay over here. And I'm expecting to use my frigate to do some damage. So I think I want to take Voidborn fleets from back here somewhere. And so since I went up 1 with Belatan, I want to try and favor them a little bit. I see a Belatan dropship way back here, and I also want to have dropships at the end. So let's take 1 Voidborn out of Sector 4, and then I don't know what houses the corrupted crew are going to go for. I've got a Fenrax and a Belatan card, so that means the chances are slightly better they're not going for Fenrax or Belatan, but I really don't know. So I think I'm just going to take 1 out of this sector. Oh, I was going to say 7 and 3, just because there's a lot of ships there, and that'll kind of protect some stuff. But I'm going to take 1 out of sector 5 because that's the only one there, and there's a rift, so that'll prevent, if that one did any damage, that'll prevent any corruption from happening back there. And then I'll take 1 out of sector 8. Because I've got Cheveus, 3 ships kind of clustered up here, just all in 8 and 7, and maybe that's a house I want to go for since it's easy to kind of keep them all corralled. So, okay, I think that's it for setup. And so now round 1 is going to start, and first player is always going to be the corrupted crew. It doesn't matter. They start as first player, and you never change the turn order throughout the game. They are always player 1. So on their turn, first we're going to, where's the little guide here? First thing we're going to do is draw a influence card, a hidden influence card from the corrupted influence deck, or the corrupted house deck, I should say. And here it is. It is House Xenor. So we just discard that card. They move up one space on the influence track with Xenor. Then we're going to advance this cube, and it just goes clockwise. So we go here, and it's a fighter. So they're going to take a corrupted crew member and try and land on the Xenor fighter. Now, it only matters if you're playing on hard mode. On hard mode, you start with their captain. You can just get used to always starting with the captain, but it makes no difference. All their crew are the same on easy and medium. But on hard mode, the captain's different. So we're going to look for the Xenor fighter. Where is it? That is, nope, not that one. There it is. They're going to land right there. And thematically, they just use the fighter to shoot and miss, quote unquote miss. Now there is an error in the rulebook, but this card is correct. This reminder card is correct if and only if you are playing on hard mode. When you place the captain, which is called the Harbinger, when you place the rival's captain, then you also corrupt that ship. So that only applies to hard mode, not to easy or normal mode. Then, this is also not quite correct in the rulebook. I'm just putting it out there. In any game mode, if you place any of the corrupted crew, so either their captain or either their cadets here, if you place them on any ship that is corrupted, you immediately advance the tactics ones and resolve the tactics track. So that is not the way that those things are stated in the book, but that has been corrected online. So I just thought I'd point that out. So to recap their turn, we drew a corrupted house card. They went up one influence with that house. Then we advanced this marker clockwise to the next space. It landed on a fighter, and so they tried to go to the fighter that matched the card we drew. Now, if that ship were not available or if it were already occupied, they would advance this again and then try and resolve again using the same house. You don't draw a new house, but you keep advancing until you can either complete it or until you've gone through all four, in which case you just stop and you set their worker aside and they just don't place their worker. But now it's our turn, and I think I'm going to try and play all these cards. I'm going to try and play this, and then this, and then on another turn, play this one. I'm definitely going to play this now, and I'm going to pair it with one of these because it'll let me play it for free, and I'll save more if I pair these two. So on my next turn, I would like to play this on a cadet, and then I'll have upgraded my cadet and my frigate. And so on my third turn, I'd like to send that cadet to use the frigate to make the most of the cards. That's what I kind of want to try and do. So I'll start with this cadet. I'll move my captain next time. I'm going to go here to the Belatan Arc ship. And so I advance one with Belatan. And now I can take either of these actions. I'm going to take the bottom action, which is play a card for one less cost and then draw a card. So I'm going to play Brain Stimulation. That costs 2 science and 1 of anything. I'm going to get a 1 discount on one of those science. So I need 1 science and 1 of anything. And I see I'm going to need energy and science coming up. So let's spend a material as my anything. So I spend a science and a material. And now, I wasn't paying close enough attention. This allows me to play a cadet card at no cost. Not any card I want. I can't pair it with the frigate. Cadet card at no cost. That means I'm going to have to pay for this frigate, so I don't want to use material as my any. Let's take that back. I'm going to spend an energy as my any resource, a science and an energy, because this will cost me material and neutronium later. Okay, so I'm playing this. Play 1 cadet card for free. Brawler right here. So that's on this cadet. And then so it's either that or advance my captain rank for free. So I chose that. And then I get to draw another operation card. So this is played. This just gets set aside and I'll score a point for it at the end of the game. What kind of card do I want to draw? Well, I guess I want at least 3 cadet cards in play by the end. So I'm going to draw another cadet card. And here's the card that I drew. This is minor. It is associated with House Xenor. It costs an energy and 2 science. Whenever I am done taking a mining action with this cadet, which is generally from going to a planet, and that'll say mining action on it, then I gain 2 material. And then after this cadet has completed their action, +1 science for each of your crew on a ship with a different house affiliation. And just to clarify this one, because I've looked this up online, because what does different mean? Does it mean different than the one you just placed? No, it just means look at all of your crew and all of the unique houses on which they're on a ship. gain 1 science for each unique house, so different from all your other crews. So you can gain up to 3 science for this, keeping in mind that your frigate and the Revenant have no house affiliation. So okay, this goes into hand. It's not bad. I'm not super excited about it, but I'm not, not wanting it. And so that was my main action. Now I can take a bonus action. Oh, wait a minute. That was just me playing my command card, which let me play this card and draw a card. That is done, but now there's still the rest of my Arcship action, which was to play a card and then draw a card. So I'm going to draw another card, and I might as well make it a cadet card. So here's the next one. This is Quartermaster. It's associated with House Novaris. 2 energy and 2 science is the cost. And with this cadet, after you finish taking your bonus action, you can draw a card. Or if you played a card, you can play a command card. Yeah, that's right. I've got the glossary here. Right after your bonus action, if you have played any number of operation cards during your bonus action, you may play 1 command card. Okay. And then during a provision effect, which is found on arc ships, you may gain 1 of the provided resources or 1 energy. Then you may place a shield in your current sector or an adjacent sector. So that's all right. So I've got another cadet card to think about there. Now I have finished this arc ship action. Now I can take a bonus action. So I've got the main one here, which allows me to do the void residue thing, but I'd rather do that with my captain because I get a bonus for it on Scientist B here. So I could, again, play another operation card, but I can't afford any of these. I've got a material and a neutronium, and that's not quite enough to play homing torpedoes. I don't have 3 science, so I can't advance my captain. This compartment is corrupted, so I can't gain 1 resource of my choice. If I do this one, activate action, for my captain, that is gain 1 science or gain 1 energy, or draw 2 operation cards. And I think that's what I'll do. I'll take this activate to take this action, and I will just take the 1 energy right now, because I think I might want that later. Okay, now that was it for our turn. So now we go back to the corrupted crew. So I need to draw a new hidden house card, or corrupted house card rather. And here it is. We've got Xenor again. Okay, so it seems like they're going for House Xenor. So they're going to advance with House Xenor. We'll advance this cube, and it is the Revenant this time. And so the A and B side is just prioritizing these 2 actions one over the other. So they're going to prioritize this action 1, I guess. They're going to go here and occupy that slot. And now they're going to build a new ship on the main board. So they're going to choose a house where they have the highest influence. And then if if that house already has all their ships built, then second highest and third. And then if it gets to a tie, it's just the leftmost on the influence board among all the tied ones. And then they prefer the order of arc ships, then drop ships, then fighters, and then shuttles last. And then they prefer to put that ship in the sector with the least amount of voidborn fleet power. And if it's a tie, then the lowest numbered sector that hasn't reached its ship limit. So that kind of sounded like a lot, but it's actually pretty simple. They're highest in influence with House Xenor, so they want to place a House Xenor ship. They want to place an arc ship. Well, their arc ship is already there. Then they'd like to place, I don't remember if it's fighter or drop ship, but I think it was fighter and then drop ship. In either case, they're both already out. Drop ship is preferred over fighter, for the record. So the Xenor arc ship is out, drop ship is out, fighter is out, so they're just going to add the shuttle, and they're going to put it in the sector with the least voidborn fleet power, which is going to be this one, has 0. So we're going to put that there, which means that now there's a 4th Xenor ship on the board, so this goes from 3 to 4. And after taking the Revenant action, we now take the card and flip it over to its other side, which just means the next time this cube comes back around, they're going to prioritize the other Revenant action. So that's the end of their turn. Again, not too difficult. So this turn, I'm going to use my captain, and I wanted to also play homing torpedoes. So I'm a little bit short on resources, but watch how I'm going to solve that. So it seems clear that they're advancing on House Xenor. They've gotten 2 cards in a row, so maybe they only had 2 in the deck, but they might have 7 of Xenor. So it seems like they're pushing that one. That one's worth the most right now. So I'm going to want to suppress Xenor during the course of play, but I also don't mind being in on that action to sort of minimize the effect. So I am going to send my captain to Xenor's arc ship, and I'm going to take this bottom action here. I guess before I do, since I went to the Xenor ship, I advance 1 influence with Xenor. I'm going to take this bottom action to copy the action of an occupied arc ship. The cost is one operation card, and I think I'm going to get rid of Quartermaster. I'll keep minor, and I want to play homing torpedo, so I'm just going to set this aside. It's discarded. And so an occupied arc ship would be this one, and I can copy one of those actions. And I'm going to take the top action this time, spend 2 resources and then gain 3 resources. And so the 2 I'm going to spend are this energy and material, and the 3 I'm going to gain are 1 material, and 1 neutronium. And we do have the provision icon there, but I'm not doing any provision effects. So that was it for my main action, and then I could take a bonus action. I'm going to take this one here to play a card. And I'm going to play homing torpedoes. And the card does match the house where I sent my worker this time, where I sent my crew member. So I went to House Xenor's arc ship. This is a Xenor card. So I can either, I could gain 1 discount, I can pay 1 less resource for it, or I can play a second card. I don't have the resources to play 2 cards, so I'm going to take a discount. So I'm going to spend 1 material, 1 neutronium, and which one I'm going to take the discount on because it costs 2 and 2. Let's take the discount on the neutronium. I'll spend another material. Again, I can't really say whether that was like a sound decision. I don't really know what I'm doing in this game yet, but I think the neutronium becomes more valuable as we start to want to jump and select from these cards here. I'd like to have some neutronium. So I'm going to slot this now in my frigate because it's a frigate card. I get no bonus on that first one, but now my frigate can do extra damage, which is great. And that's it for my turn. So now we go to the corrupted crew again, and we draw a corrupted house card, and it is Belatan. So they're going to fight me on my Belatan. That's not great. So they're going to go up 1 step with Belatan. And then we advance this cube. They want to go to the Belatan arc ship, but it is occupied. They can't go there. So we're going to advance again. And we just crossed over this tactics marker. So they advance on the tactics track. They go up to space 6. So this reminder card tells us that 2 times we have to do this. It's compulsory. We select a hidden influence card from our hand and discard it, and then just gain the influence with the house. So we lose some versatility in this. So we've only got 2, so we've got to do it twice. And if you're already at the top of a track, you've got to choose something else. But all right, so we're going to discard 1 Fenrax and 1 Belatan. And these are gone. So now I've completed this effect. Now we continue here. So now they're trying to go to the Belatan. They tried to go to the arc ship, but it was full. So now they're going to try the drop ship, and that is available. And they go to the nearest planet, no matter how far away it is. That's going to be this one. And remove the data cube. And they don't keep data cubes. You don't need to track it. They don't get any bonuses from the planet. They're just occupying it with the dropship. So that was their third turn. Now we've got 1 more turn, and I'm going to use this cadet on my frigate. When we go to the frigate, we gain 1 hidden influence card. And so I've got House Dunlork here, okay? And now I can either use my frigate as a dropship to maneuver and land on either of these planets, or I can use it as a fighter, and I can move and I can shoot. I can do a damage. I do not get the strafe ability though. Because I've sent this cadet, I also get this bonus damage and movement, and also, because I'm using my frigate, this bonus damage. So I'm actually going to keep the frigate where it is, and I'm going to shoot, and I get 1 additional damage because of brawlers. So that's going to be these 2 Voidborn fleet power that I destroy. And then with homing torpedoes, I can also do 2 damage in the same sector or adjacent sectors. And so I'm going to do, there's a Belatan ship over here. I'm going to do 2 damage over here. All right. So now I've taken out 4 Voidborn fleets. So my tactics track is going to go up 4 times. And so I passed here. So I get a material. Cool. And I can get rid of these now. And the frigate does get to move. I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it once now into this sector. I do have 2 more movement here that I am not going to use. So now I'm done with that whole action. I have 2 unused movement, so I'm going to gain 2 energy. So I'll put those here in this compartment. 2 energy. And I'll just say I moved my frigate because I want to be able to control where the damage goes in this sector during the skirmish phase coming up. So just keep that in mind. But now I get to do a bonus action. I'm going to take this one to take this activate bonus action, and I'm going to draw 2 more cards. And I think I'm going to draw 2 more cadet cards. So here's what I've drawn: Hacker and Tinkerer. They both cost 2 energy, 2 science. So for Hacker, it's associated with House Belatan. I might more easily get a bonus on that if I keep going to Belatan ships, or a discount, I should say. So on that one, after your cadet action, you can discard 2 operation cards to gain a hidden influence, and it gives you a bonus action, or rather, it says during your bonus action. A single time when you play an operation card, you may spend 1 less resource on it, and then you may draw 1 operation card. So that's an interesting way to try and more consistently get a bonus. And then so the second card here is Tinkerer. That's associated with House Fenrax. After that cadet takes an action, what is this? When they take an action on a house ship, they can remove up to 2 damage from that ship and gain a material. And then when they move, 2 extra movement points and more energy for unused movement. So I could pair that with the Brawler card that I already have and get some serious energy generation going. That's a pretty fun combo. I like that. Okay, so these cards are in my hand now, and that is the end of my bonus action. So that is the end of my turn. So I've taken 3 turns. The Corrupted Crew's taken 3 turns. So we are done with the action phase. So I move the tracker, and it's just the recall phase. So we're going to remove crew members from ships. Any drop ships that are on a planet come back into orbit, I suppose, come back into space. Remove this, this, and this. Put my captain where my captain goes, put my crew members here, and then we do not adjust turn order because the corrupted crew is always first. So now we go to the skirmish phase, and first we look, who's higher on the tactics track, me or the opponent? And if we happen, I'm on 4 here, but if we happen to be on the same space, whoever's on the bottom is higher. So we are, I'm still behind, so that means I control skirmishes where my frigate is and the 2 adjacent sectors, and they control all the others. If I were higher on the tactics track, which I'm started getting set up to gain a lot of tactics, then I would control where my frigate is, the adjacent sectors, and then the 2 sectors adjacent to those. So I would get to deal out the damage in 5. So we're going to start in sector 1 here, and there are no corrupted ships, so no damage is going to happen there. Sector 2, same deal. No ships that are going to attack, so no damage is dealt. Sector 3 here, there are 2 ships, so 2 damage will be dealt. I decide how it's going to be dealt, and I want to keep drop ships around, and they are doing really well with House Xenor. So I'm going to hit this Xenor fighter twice. So the first time puts 1 damage, and the second time destroys the ship. So I now remove it from the main board, and that means this power token will flip back from 4 to 3, which will lessen their points, which is good. So that's why I wanted to move my my frigate from here to here, so that I can make sure that that Xenor ship got destroyed. If I had kept it here, they would have protected the Xenor ship, probably destroyed this. They would have destroyed this Yarvek dropship, which would have hurt for my scoring. And if I had been here, I would have controlled this sector. But again, there's only 1 ship, only 1 thing's going to get hit, so nothing's going to blow up. So it just wasn't worth it for me to be here. I'd rather take out that Xenor ship. Now, this is a sector with a rift, and as long as 1 hit happens in a sector with a rift, something needs to be corrupted there, so long as there's a corruption space available. So there's 2 Yarvek ships and a Novaris ship. And I want to be careful with the corruption, because if I ever go to a corrupted ship, then I have to gain a corruption on my main board. And if the corrupted crew ever goes to a corrupted ship, they advance on tactics, and that's really bad. I don't want them to keep going up on tactics. So have they drawn? They have not drawn Yarvek yet, or Novaris. I don't know what they're gonna do. There's a lot of drop ships around, and I don't know that this one's any more valuable to me than any of the rest. Whereas the arc ships have like actions that I might decide I really want. So I'm going to corrupt that drop ship. That's what I'm doing. Okay. Now we go to Sector 4, and from here on out, from 4 through 8, the corrupted crew is in control of these sectors and doling out the damage. There's 1 corrupted ship here, so it's just going to do 1 damage. There's no choice in the matter. It goes right there on the Dunlork ship. And in Sector 5, there's no damage to do, so nothing to worry about. Let's look at Sector 6. There's 2 damage to do, and there are 2 ships there, a Xenor ship and a Yarvek ship. So they're going to check their influence. Which one do they have less with, Yarvek or Xenor? Well, they've got 4 with Xenor, 2 with Yarvek. So they're going to hit the Yarvek ship, and they're going to do 2 damage, 1, 2. That takes out this fighter. So Yarvek now goes down in power from 3 to 2. All right, now we go to Sector 7. Again, 2 damage. So they've got Cheveus at 2, Fenrax at 2, Novaris at 2, and Dunlork at 2. It's a tie. So they're going to go, then they're going to prioritize From those 4 houses, the house that I have the most influence with, and that's going to be Fenrax, because I'm at 0, and what did I say? Cheveus, Novaris, Dunloric, I'm at 0 at those 3, but I'm at 1 with Fenrax. So I'm going to prioritize that Fenrax ship and hit it twice. But if it were still a tie, let me do that. Okay, 2 hits on the Fenrax ship. But yeah, if it were still a tie, then they would just choose the leftmost house on the influence board. And if they had more than 1 ship in the sector, they're going to choose the one that has the least damage available to it before it blows up. So okay, we've done that. And then there was a rift in that sector, so we need to add a corruption as well. And they're going to follow the same priority rankings. And so Fenrax will get corrupted as well. It's not necessarily always going to be the ship that gets attacked, though, because they could blow up that ship and then corrupt a different one. And then Sector 8, they're going to do 1 damage. Both ships are Cheveus, so house doesn't matter to them. They both have 2 hits left. So actually, I was wrong a minute ago. It's not arc ships and then drop ships and then fighters. It's just I get to choose in this case. I get to make the choice when all else is equal. So I'm going to choose the fighter because I'd rather that blow up than the drop ship because I want drop ships for scoring. And if there were any shield tokens out here, we would remove them at this point. Now we need to update the Revenant damage, whatever these cards are. Top one slides down, add another one, and that's it for the skirmish step. So now you either have the rift phase or the hyperjump phase, and nobody jumped. So we're going to the rift phase. So that means we're going to roll this die in each sector where there's a rift, starting at sector 1, and use the yellow die in solo mode, and it works a little bit differently than normal. Let's put that die on the screen for a second. So you can see this one says 2 in the center and then 1 on each of the sides. Whatever that center number is when you're playing solo, you subtract 1 from it to a minimum of 1. So we would treat this face as 1, 1, 1. And then this face here would also be treated as 1, 1, 1 because the middle number has to have a minimum of 0. And then this face we would just treat as a 2 because there are no numbers on the sides. So that is how this die is going to work. So let's roll it now for sector 1. It says 4, geez. So we're going to subtract 1. So we make it a 3, put 3 Voidborn fleet here. Now we go to sector 3. And we get 1, 2, 1. So we're going to treat it as 1, 1, 1. That means 1 in this sector and 1 in each of the adjacent sectors, again to a maximum of 6 per sector. Then we're going to roll again for sector 5. That's 1, 2, 1. We treat it as 1, 1, 1, like so. And then one more time for sector 7. And again, 1, 2, 1. So we treat it as 1, 1, 1. So 1 goes here and then in each of the adjacent sectors. That's a lot of fleet power out. Now, this is not all bad. It's like the 4 here, if nothing else changes, if nothing else goes there, they're going to hit this arc ship 4 times and blow it up. That's the Xenor arc ship. So I wouldn't mind, they seem to be going for Xenor, so making that drop down would be good. So I'm going to leave all 4 there and not mess with it. And even the 1 here could potentially take out this Xenor shuttle if I can control where the damage goes. So that's not all bad. But some of these sectors, if they start getting too overwhelmed, the Revenant's going to start taking damage, and that would not be good for me. So anyway, we've rolled the Void die, or the Rift die, and now we're going to add a data cube to any planets that don't have one. So just putting 1 more data cube back here on this planet, because we have not jumped. Now, these cards are going to go away, these 3 navigation cards, because we didn't use them. These were for cycle 1. We didn't jump. So here are 3 cards for cycle 2. Before I look at them, we're going to refresh our operation cards. According to my captain rank, I draw 2 operation cards. I've been drawing a lot of cadet cards. Let's go 2 frigate cards this time. Or I take that back, actually. Let's do 1 frigate card and 1 cadet card. So here they are. I'll put them up on the screen. Man, look at these. These are right in line with what I'm doing. So that frigate card, Neutronium Impulse, when I attack with my frigate, do 1 extra damage and place a shield and gain an energy. I would really like that. And then after doing a planet action with my frigate, I can place same thing. I could place a shield and gain an energy. So that's got some nice synergy with what I've already played. And then Navigator for a cadet. And this one, again, it gives me some movement stuff. After taking cadet action, I can move 2 non-arc ships, 2 non-arc ship, or 2 non-arc ship house ships, 2 house ships. I can move basically shuttles and fighters and drop ships. and I gain extra movement action. And then again, for unused move steps, get some energy. What I'm going to do with all this energy, I don't know. But these are both pretty cool cards. So I've got, let's see, 4 cadet cards and 1 frigate card in hand. I've got 5 cards in hand. The hand limit is 8. Let's move these up here. And now we can reveal the next 3 navigation cards. So the costs are 2 to 3 neutronium. We can think about that later. It's definitely would be a good idea to jump though, because the Voidborn fleets are starting to build up. I don't like to go. I don't like to do that Rift phase twice in a row. That's never good. So we finished the Rift phase now, and we're just going to follow this line back up to here. So we're at cycle 2, starting with actions, and the corrupted crew goes first. So we draw a corrupted house card, and we have House Novaris. Okay, so they move up 1 with Novaris. And we're going to move this to here. They would like to go to the Novaris Fighter. Start with their captain or their harbinger. They go to the Novaris Fighter and they don't do anything. So now it's my turn. And man, I would really like to get this Neutronium Impulse card down. Ooh, although, you know what? I made a mistake earlier. I'm looking at Brawler here. This bonus that I got, it's 1 energy for every 2 unused move steps. For these 2 unused steps, I took 2 energy. So let me give one of these back. I've got too much, which means that's not quite as powerful as I thought. You know, it's still not bad. But let's see. I've tried to go up Belatan a little bit. I would like to push that one some more, but like what other? I need to push another house. And it looks like they're going up Belatan too, so that doesn't even really help me that much. I got to pick another house to try and help. And I thought Cheveus might be a decent candidate. Ooh, but I also want to keep in mind, I would like to jump. Oh, but they're gonna occupy that space next time. They're gonna decide where we're jumping, unless I jump right now, and I don't have the neutronium for it because you need at least 2. So okay, good news is we are jumping at the end of this round. But the bad news is I don't get to pick where we're going. And I think I would really like to rank up my captain as well. And I don't have any science. I've kind of messed that up. I need some science too. Man, and I've thought about this a lot. I don't know if this is right, but all right, I'm gonna go to this Belatan dropship. I'm gonna do this again. Go up here. Oops. On the Belatan track, and then I'm gonna land on this planet again. And I'm gonna take this bottom action. That's gonna give me a data cube. I guess I'm not the one who went there last time, but I'm going to take this bottom action, which gives me an energy and 2 science. So here's an energy, here's 2 science, and also a mining action. But this cadet has nothing. I kept trying to figure out a way to get this card onto this this worker here, but I couldn't quite figure it out because this has when that cadet mines also gain 2 materials, so that's kind of wasted. I wish I had that, but let's just leave it how it is. And then I do have to gain a corruption now, and I think I'll place that here. Makes me a little nervous. And then I do get a bonus action. I can't take that bonus action, and so for my bonus action, you know what? I'm going to take this action. This kind of seems a little nuts to me, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because this could still net me a lot of science later. Yeah, I'm going to play this for 1 energy and 2 science. So the resources that I just gained. And yeah, I'll put it on this cadet. I do need to get at least 3 cadet cards. So at least I've got 2 of them now. If I can get 1 per cycle, that's good. That is the end of my turn. I'm a little overwhelmed, not sure how I'm doing. But we draw the next corrupted house card, and there it is, House Xenor again. So the corrupted crew goes up with House Xenor. They're going to just toss out this neutronium. They don't keep any resources, and now going to advance here, and they're going to go to the Revenant, and they're going to prioritize this space. Now we look. Do any of these? Yeah, 1, 2 give a shuttle, and 1 does not. So we're going to shuffle these up. And they're going to pick one at random. And if they gain a shuttle, they'll make it a shuttle with the house where they have the most influence, which at the moment would be Xenor, but the Xenor shuttle's already out. So what would be second for them? Either Novaris or Belatan. And Belatan, I have the highest influence, so they'd probably go Novaris if I had to guess. All right, but they get this one here. So this is the one we're going to use. These I will set off to the side. Discard is probably an appropriate word for that. So yeah, for the shuttle, they'd prefer Xenor. That's already on the board. And of the other 2, they don't care about my influence. So they're just going to do the leftmost if tied, which is going to be Belatan. So that sounds pretty good to me. So we'll put the Belatan shuttle here and we'll take care of that in the hyperjump phase. So speaking of, we'll shift this token so that we don't have the rift phase this time. We'll just go to hyperjump instead. And that is the end of their turn. So now it's back to me. And I know I want this crew member to use the frigate and do all the cool frigate stuff. I think I'd like to use my captain now and try and get this card down to upgrade my frigate again. And to do that, I need 2 materials, 2 neutronium. And while I'm using my captain, I'd also like to make use of this ability. So I'd like to take care of some of this corruption in my bonus. So if that's my bonus action, I want to take a regular action that allows me to both gain materials and neutronium and play this card. I don't think there's such a thing. If I had one more either material or neutronium, I could go to Belatan, which would be great, and play this for 1 discount, but I need 2 discounts. Ooh, but you know what? I forgot I have this extra corruption space here. I'm going to take this corruption and put it here because I forgot that I had it for this special ability for this guy. That's a good one. That'll save me a card or some energy later. Not that that helps me solve my current problem that I'm trying to wrap my head around. You know what? I'm dumb. I've been staring at this board a long time and I figured it out. Okay, I'm going to the Belatan ship. So I go up 1 space with Belatan and that gets me a science, which is nice. I want that, I'm sure. And then I can play a card for a 1 resource discount. So I'm going to play Neutronium Impulse, which I wanted to play. So that costs 2 material, 2 neutronium, and I have a discount. Here's 1 material, 1 neutronium, 1 of anything is the discount, and then I'll spend my 1 hidden influence card, as I can do, as 1 resource as well. And now I can afford that card. That's great. So I'm going to slot it here. That gets me another data cube, so that's good. And now I can draw a card, and let's go with a command card because I think they tend to cost less, and I've been pretty resource strapped, and I've got a lot of cadet cards. Let's see, we get Inquisition associated with House Cheveus, costs 2 neutronium and 1 of anything, and as a one-time benefit, you can contain to corruption. So, okay, that was more expensive than I was expecting. Maybe that wasn't a good pick. But all right, that was my main action. Now I'm going to take a bonus action. My bonus action will be to contain corruption. So this is the cleanse bonus action. And I'm going to do one where I've got to discard a card. I'm going to discard hacker. I can get a good discount on that though. Maybe I'll discard. Man, these are all things I want. I'll discard Navigator. It's pretty similar to Tinkerer. So I'll get rid of that. And so I can cleanse this corruption now. Get that there. And then for the other one, that's pay 1 energy, but I'm going to do this one. So as long as I'm using my captain, which I am, I don't have to do that. Don't have to pay the cost. And because I'm using my captain and I've done this action twice, I can, for each time, gain a science or advance on my tactics track. And for each of those, I'm going to gain a science. Because now I've got enough science I can rank up my captain, which I would have liked to have done before that, but you can't do everything in the order you want. Just doesn't work out that way sometimes. So that's the end of my turn. I think that was pretty decent. So now we go to the corrupted crew. We draw the corrupted house card, and it looks like we've got House Novaris. Okay, so they're going to advance on House Novaris like so. Now we're going to advance this cube. They want to go to the Novaris Arc ship, and that is available. So they go there and they block it. And that's it. So now it is my turn, and I'll definitely be sending this crew member to my frigate. So I need to gain 1 hidden influence card, and I get Fenrax, okay? And now I can take my frigate action, which is going to give me extra bonus damage here in adjacent sectors. 1 in my sector. I can put down a shield token. I can gain an energy. Plus I'm using this cadet, so I get extra attack and movement and energy. So this should be good. And my tactics should, after this action, go above their tactics, knowing that they're going to go up 1 more still. 7, they might go to 8, but I should go up at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm at 4, so I should be ahead no matter what. So that means in a sector like this, as long as I stay close enough to it, I can put this damage like on the Novaris ship, which they're pushing that track, instead of letting this Yarvek dropship get destroyed, because I want dropships to survive. But like this Dunlork ship is probably done for. I want that Xenor ship to be done for. I don't need to control that sector. So my best bet is probably to end my frigate here, and I'll control the damage in 1, 2, 8, 3, and 7. They won't really have any choice in 4 or 6. And 5, they'll end up putting 1 damage on this dropship, which will survive this Belatan dropship. So I think I probably want to end here. So I'm gonna move 1 time, and then I have an extra, let's see, just here, an extra 2 movement that I won't use. Now I'm going to do 1 damage, my standard 1 damage, which I also get 2 more bonus damage in this sector. And I can gain an energy and place a shield here. The shield is not going to do anything, but I guess I'll place it. Here's my energy. Here's my shield just to demo it. And then I can also do 2 damage in an adjacent sector. And you know what? I'm gonna do 1 bonus damage here and 1 bonus damage here. Let's see, I've done this. I've done these 2 damage now. I've done this, and then I have 2 unused move steps. So I'll gain 1 more energy. There we go. And now I've taken out 5 Voidborn ships. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I move up 5 times on the tactics track. 1, 2, that gains me materials. 3, 4, 5. Here's my material. And that was my regular action, which I think was pretty good. So now I'm going to take my bonus action. I'll take this one, spend 3 science to upgrade my captain's rank. So I'll try and do that some more if I can. So I've got 3 energy and a material left over. That's not bad. I need energy for these cadet cards. I need science too, though, and science is in high demand apparently. But okay, I think that was pretty good. So that was all of my actions. That's my bonus stuff. We're done with that phase. So now we go on to the retrieval phase here. We're going to take this back, and take this back over here. This comes off of the planet like so. And this guy comes back, and this comes back. Okay. Now, again, we don't change the turn order. We're going to the skirmish phase, and my tactics are higher. So my frigates here, I control this sector, the 2 adjacent, and both of the sectors adjacent to those. That's hugely important. We start with Sector 1, there's no damage to be done. Sector 2, there's no damage to be done. Sector 3, there's 3 damage that needs to happen. And I think I'll put it all on this Novaris arc ship because they seem to be advancing with Novaris. And there was damage done in a sector with a rift. And I'm going to put on this other Yarvek ship because I don't want them to land on a ship with corruption because it'll make their tactics go up. I'm coughing, excuse me. And I really don't want their tactics to go up. So I'll put it there. Then this sector, I have no control over. There's 3 damage to do. There's only 1 choice. They're going to go 1, 2, and the third blows up the ship. So this Dunlork ship is gone. First arc ship of the game to go, so their power level went down. We go to this sector here, 1 damage to do. They have the most influence of Xenor, the least with Fenrax and... Oh yeah, Belatan and then Fenrax would be the least. So actually they're going to damage Fenrax. I thought they were going to hit my dropship, but they're not. They're going to hit this Fenrax fighter, and I'm okay with that. And then that sector does have a rift, so we need to corrupt something. I'm going to corrupt that Fenrax fighter. I don't see myself using a fighter when my frigate does so much damage. And let me slide this around a little just so it's more clear this is all in this sector. Okay. And then sector 6, again, they've got no choice. There's only 1 ship here. So they've got to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Blows up. They had to blow up their own ship. Sucks to be you. So eat it. Xenor goes down in power. Now we're at sector 7, back under my control. 3 damage to do. And I'll do 2 damage here. 1, 2 on this Novaris ship, so they lose some power. So unfortunately, it was a drop ship, but there's still 6 more of them, so I should be okay. None of the others have any damage. And there's 1 more damage to do in that sector. I guess I'll throw it on this Chevea ship, because that won't really have much of an effect. And then I've got to put a corruption on something. We'll put on this Dunlork fighter, because again, I don't see landing on that fighter. I don't think they will either. And then finally, this sector here, 1 damage. And you know what? I haven't messed with Cheveas at all. I thought I might at the beginning, but I'd rather than put a damage on this dropship, I'd rather just take out the fighter. Let's take out the fighter. So Cheveas goes down in power. That's okay. So now we've done all of this. And then what else do we have to do? We remove this shield token. That's not going to apply anymore. And we're going to discard this, slide this down, draw a new one. Revenant's in great shape. And that's it for that skirmish phase. So now we skip past the rift phase and go to the hyperjump phase. So we're going to discard all of the planet cards because we're jumping somewhere else. So these are going to go away. And then we remove all the rifts because they're going to end up elsewhere. Now we remove all the Voidborn fleet power without adjusting for tactics, of course. All right, and now just following along here, we're going to reset the tactics track, and I'm going to go down to space 1, and along the way, I'm going to gain a hidden influence card, and I get to draw 2 and pick one. So I get Belatan and Cheveus. Let's keep Belatan. Get some more points on that track if I can. And since none of their stuff's even damaged, I wouldn't mind trying to get their shuttle down too. That'd be great. What's the next step? Now, now I've got to slide this down to 1. They never, your corrupted crew, they never go down. They can only go up. So now we are going to take care of this card. Where are they going to put that shuttle? I guess that'll be the last step. They'll put it in the sector with the fewest number of Voidborn. Oh, and they're putting down the Belatan shuttle. I forgot about that. Good for me. Fewest number of Voidborn, and then lowest numbered if tied. It's going to be a sector where it can be held. It's going to be sector 1. They're going to put it there. Man, that's incredible. Now Belatan goes up to 4. Thank you. My Belatan track looks good. All my other tracks look pretty bad, though. I am not gaining influence hardly anywhere. I need to push some of those up. Shockingly, Fenrax is second most power, and I've got 1 there. Maybe I should try and push Fenrax. I don't know. All right, let's take this. Oh, before I do that, I forgot to do the colony part. They're going to go through these 7 colony cards. They're going to find where I have the highest influence, and that is going to be 1 with Belatan, and then I'm tied with Fenrax and Xenor. And they are higher at Xenor, so I guess they're going to pick Fenrax. They're going to take Belatan and Fenrax and discard them. So these 2 cards will not be available in that pile. That seems okay with me. But okay, let's look at the scanner card now. So this is where we are jumping to. So I'm going to add the rifts. Let me show you this real quick. So that's going to go in 2 and 3 and 6 and 8. And then I'm going to add all the Voidborn fleet power. So give me a second for that. All right, so I've done that now. And then we're going to add the planet cards, new planet cards to 1, 5, and 7. So man, 1 is a bit crowded. Let's see if I can move some of this around. So 1, it's this one, 5 gets 1, and 7 gets a planet. And now we can discard this card, and we'll put a cube on each of these planets, a data cube. And what else here? In the Hyperjump phase, in solo mode only, I get to remove 3 Voidborn from the map. And unlike during setup, these can be from the same sector if I choose. So I think I'm going to take these 2 out of this empty sector, because I've got 2 empty sectors here that are just going to really do a lot of damage to the Revenant if nothing else changes. And then this sector I'm kind of worried about too, because this dropship is going to get obliterated, and I want some dropships out. And after it's gone, any extra damage is going to, again, hit the Revenant. I don't know if I'll get the chance, but I might actually like to build like an arc ship in Sector 6 just as a giant shield. We'll see. I've taken 2 off the map. I'm going to take 1 more. I guess I'll take 1 from here. Oh, this makes me nervous too. Boy, oh boy. Because I don't want to lose a dropship, and I don't want to lose the Belatan ship. But I'll take this one. I think I can deal with this. So I get to remove any 3 that I want. I've done that. Now we're at the refresh cards. I draw 2 operation cards, and I think I'll go with a cadet and a frigate. So let's take a look at those. The cadet card is Channeler. 1 energy, 2 science associated with Dunlork. When you do damage 3 times, you can spend an energy to do an extra damage. That is pretty cool. Then at the end of activating that cadet, 1 energy for each of your cadet cards in play. Wow. Okay, so that seems like something I want to get down. And then for the frigate, we've got drill module, 1 material, 1 neutronium. After doing the mining action with your frigate, then you gain 3 material. I'm not going to use that one. That's definitely not going to happen. That's just not what I'm doing this game, but okay, I've got 5 cards in hand. It's not bad to have cards that I'm not going to use, because sometimes spending a card is a cost. So having some obvious cards to get rid of is not so bad. All right, here are the next 3 navigation cards. I think that's what they're called. They cost 2 to 3 neutronium here. And that is it for the Hyperjump phase. So now we're at the action phase of cycle 3. So the corrupted crew goes first. Let's draw their card. It looks like we've got House Dunlork. Okay. So they're going to advance with Dunlork. We're going to move this over to here now. They advance on the tactics track. They're at step 7. So that means they're going to do this part. We're going to reveal one hidden influence card from the main deck. So they get Cheveus. So they're going to advance with influence with Cheveus. And then they are going to put a shield token on each of the ships matching whichever house has the highest influence for them, which is Xenor. So there should be 2 Xenor ships out there right now, and I see them. There's a drop ship and a shuttle. So those shield tokens go directly on those ships. They will only be spent when protecting those ships. So they're not general shield tokens that sit in the sector like usual. So that's what they get on the tactics track. Now they're going to try and land on the Dunlork drop ship. And I've got their captain here. That is this one here. So it's going to move to the nearest planet, this one, and take the data cube. Wait, can it go there though, or is the sector full? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they can fit one more ship. So, all right, it's going to go there, take the data cube, and now it's my turn. And you know what? I have a wild idea. I'm going to try and do a ton of damage. I'm going to, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to put this crew member on the frigate, and I'm going to move the frigate once, and then I have 2 extra movement. I'm going to use them and go 1, 2. And now I'm going to do damage. I'm going to do 1 plus 2, 3, and I'm going to do both of these, 4, 5, all. Well, I'm going to do 3 here, I think. 1, 2, 3, and maybe 2 over here. Or maybe I'll do a 4th one here, and then 1 here. That seems pretty good. 5 damage. So I'm going to go up the tactics track 5 times. And that gets me 2 material. All right, so there's 2 material and an energy and a shield. Here's an energy. The shield goes where my frigate is. That's why I can leave this here. Okay, and then I don't have any unused movement, but that's okay. I think that went pretty well. And then I get a bonus action, and I think I'm going to take this cleanse bonus action. So I am going to discard drill module and spend an energy so that I can cleanse twice. I guess I'll spend this one. I'm going to take the corruption off this Fenrax ship, and then it's either Yarvek or Dunlork. There's another Fenrax, but I'm not going to use the fighter. That's a fighter. I would only be taking it off of there to prevent them from landing on it. Oh, and they could go to Dunlork, even though... Oh, and fighter's next. Yeah, okay, we'll take that one. So I'm taking 2 corruption. 1 goes here. I've now filled up all of this space. So these 3 get removed, and I get a hidden influence card, and then I take 1 more corruption, so I'll put it there. So let's get a hidden influence card, and I currently draw 2, pick 1. So it's either Belatan or Cheveus. I will keep Belatan, thank you. And that was my turn, so we go to the corrupted crew. Let's draw a card. I don't need to make it big on the screen. It's Novaris, okay? So they're going to advance with Novaris. They're going to get rid of this bonus token, and they don't get the reward for that token. And now we move this, so they want to go to the Novaris fighter, which is there a Novaris fighter? There is. It's here. Okay, so they go there, and that's the end of their turn. Easy enough. So for my captain, I know I want to play this card. Ooh, how am I going to do that? I have no idea. I guess I have ways, but I want to play this card on this cadet and then play that cadet on my next turn. And I want that cadet to go to the Fenrax Arc ship. So where do I want this captain to go so that I can play this? Ooh, and you know what? This is way late, but I didn't flip this card back over the last time they used it. They're going to prioritize this space. That might change what I want to do. Maybe I want to go there. Otherwise, they'll bring that Xenor Arc ship back and they'll put it here. I don't really want that. Or I guess they'll put it here. No, they'll put it here. Yeah, I'd like to block that. Yeah, let's do this. Let's take my captain and go here. And so I gain an influence with the house of my choice. And I think I'm going to start pushing Fenrax. I'm going to go up here on Fenrax. Now I need to pay an energy, a material, and a neutronium. And I will just get rid of a hidden influence card. I guess I'll do a Fenrax one. I don't know if it really makes a difference. I'll swap it. I'll do a Belatan one because this is about to go up. So I'm going to build now a ship of any kind that I want. And so I'm going to build a Fenrax shuttle. And I just want to put it somewhere where I'm confident I will control what happens to it. I'm going to put it here. Fenrax shuttle, okay. And now I can also place one of these Revenant blocker tokens. And I'm going to put this on the top half of, what is that? overcharge, which does damage based off where my frigate is. Wouldn't want that to happen. And now I gain a bonus action, or I have a bonus action to take, and I'm going to, I guess, place a card, or play a card, I should say. Ooh, but I don't get any sort of discount now. And yeah, there's really no way around it. I got to play this card. I am going to play this. It costs 2 energy and 2 science. I don't have the science. I'm going to spend both of these hidden influence cards in place of science. I don't love that, but it's a good card. I'm going to put it here on this cadet. That is the end of that turn. And now the corrupted crew gets one more turn and they draw a Xenor card. Okay. I think that actually works out well. So this goes up once to 6, and then we move this cube, and they would like to go here, but I am blocking it. So they go to the other Revenant space. In that instance, when they want to reinforce, but it's blocked, so they go there, then they just do nothing. So now we're going to flip this to here. Let's remember to flip it this time, and that's their turn, and that worked out great. So now I've got this crew member, this cadet, and I'm going to send them here to the Fenrax Arc ship. So I go up again with Fenrax. Good for me. Oh, and I forgot to flip this over. They've got 4 ships out now. That's pretty important for me. All right. And I'm going to take this bottom action to copy the action of my frigate. So I'm going to move my frigate. And then I have 2 extra movement. So I am going to use it. I'm going to use 1 and go here. And now I will shoot and I get a bonus damage here. So that's going to be, oh, and then, yeah, I get 1 bonus damage here. So I shoot and I get a bonus damage, and I can place a shield and gain an energy. Here's the energy. Here's the shield. That works out. And then I am going to strafe after those shots. I can go here. The sector limit is, again, 1 arc ship, 4 house ships, and then any number of frigates. Frigates don't count towards the limit. So I'm going to strafe to here. And now I can do 2 damage to an adjacent sector. So I'm going to do 2 damage here. Okay, that's good. So that's 4 tactics I'm going to go up. So I've got the higher tactics again. That's really critical to keep that going. Now that I'm done with all my frigate stuff here, after taking this action, for every 2 unused movement steps, gain an energy. I have 1 unused movement step, so I don't get anything for that. But after my cadet's action on the ship that they're on, I can heal 2 damage. I can repair 2 damage and gain 1 material. Here's a material. That's good. And now, I've got this too. Now, after my action, 1 science for each of your crew members on a ship with a unique house affiliation. So I've got Revenant doesn't count, Frigate doesn't count, but I've got Fenrax, so that's going to be 1 science. Better than none. I was hoping if I'd planned differently, I might get up to like 3 so that I could take my bonus action to upgrade my captain. My captain's rank, but it's not the case. So now that I've done all that stuff, now I can take a bonus action. I guess it won't be upgrading the captain. I don't think it needs to be this action. Gain a resource. Oh, I could play a card. I was trying to figure out how to play this Fenrax card while on the Fenrax Arc ship to get a discount for it, but that's not the case. So I don't get a discount on any of these. I've got 1 energy, 1 science. So I'm going to be a resource short on Channeler, 2 short on Hacker. And I've got no hidden influence cards to use in place of resources. Inquisition, I need Neutronium for that, so I can't play that. So I don't know that I want to play cards. So I guess I'm going to do this. I'm going to cleanse, because I guess I might as well. And so I think I'm going to spend Hacker and an energy to cleanse twice. And I'm going to cleanse this Fenrax Fighter and this Yarvak Dropship. I don't know if it matters to me. Yeah, I guess those 2, just to do it. So now I've got 3, so I can get rid of these and get a new hidden influence card. And again, with my captain's rank, I get to draw 2, pick 1, Cheveus or Belatan. Let's keep Belatan. So that's it for my bonus action. So let's wrap up cycle 3. We're going to take people back. So this planet is no longer occupied. Very crowded here. Sector 1, I could probably rearrange a little bit, like so. I'll take this guy back as well. And the other planets are not occupied. I was thinking about going to that one in Sector 7. with the Fenrax ship. I was going to use my captain because he's got extra movement. Hop over there, and didn't happen. That's okay. So that is the end of that like recall step. Now we go to the skirmish step, and my tactics are higher, so I'm in control of where my frigate is, as well as sectors 8, 2, 3, and 7. So we start at 1. There's no Voidborn here. 2 is empty. 3, there's 2 damage to do. I'm going to do 1 to this Novaris Arc ship so that their power goes down further, since that's one that the Corrupted Crew seems to be favoring. And then I'll do 1 on this Yarvek Arc ship, because it can absorb some hits. I don't want this drop ship to go away. And there's a rift in this sector, so we're going to re-corrupt this this ship. That's fine. Nothing happens here. Nothing happens here. There's one shot here that would hit the Revenant, but there's a shield, so we get rid of it. And they didn't get a hit, so not that there's anything to corrupt there, but and so these were the 3 sectors that the Corrupted Crew is in charge of. They didn't have any choices to make. Now it's back to my decision making. 1 hit in this sector, and I'm going to put that not on Fenrax. It's really all the same to me. I think I'd rather put it here. I'd rather see this ship blown up, or I'd rather see one of these ships blown up than either of the Fenrax ships. And like, it's all equal to me influence wise and to the Corrupted Crew. So this one's a little easier to blow up, so let's damage it, because that'll remove points from them rather than from me. And then 1 more shot here, and we're just going to absorb this shield. So didn't add much corruption this time, and I'm okay with that. So now we remove any other remaining shields. That's going to be these 2 on these Xenor ships, which I would love to blow up next round. And now we'll discard this card. We'll slide this one down and add the last one. We do keep the token on there when we slide. And now we go to the Rift phase. Okay, so we're going to have to roll that die again, starting in Sector 2. And this says 1, 2, 1. So again, we subtract 1 off the middle. So we make it 1 here with 1 on either side, 1 there and 1 there. Here's the next rift, Sector 3. Rolled the same thing. So we'll put 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. Sector 6 up there is next. It says 1, 1, 1, so we don't subtract anything because the minimum is 1. Okay, and finally Sector 8. And 4. Okay, so we subtract 1, make it a 3. Yuck. Okay. I only need 4 drop ships to survive. I don't really care which ones unless I've got house affiliation. Cheveas doesn't do much for me. So okay, we've rolled the die. We're going to add a data cube back to this planet. Then these are going to go away. We're not jumping this time. And then there are 5 colony cards left. We're going to shuffle them up, pick 3 of them. And we know we won't have, Velatan and I forgot what the other one was. Maybe Yarvek? Was it Fenrax? I don't know. We'll see. Places we could end up. We've got Cheveas, Dunlork, and Xenor. Okay, what were the other 2? Yarvek and Novaris. So, yeah, Fenrax and Velatan were the ones we got rid of before. So I don't want it to be Xenor at all, because I don't want, well, unless I blow up their ships, maybe. Which of these would be best for me? None, really. I don't want to get any of those. So I just don't want us to jump this time, I guess. Okay. Now, I draw 2 operation cards. What do I think I want going into this last round? I think I'm set here. I'm going to score this. I think it might just be the command cards. All right, so let's see what I got. I got Static Discharge and Minor Drones. So Static Discharge is 1 Neutronium, 1 of anything, and you can remove a Voidborn Fleet Power from anywhere and gain 2 energy. And then Minor Drones associated with House Velatan, so I can get a discount on it. It's just 2 of any resource. And when you take the mine action, you can gain 3 more resources of any mix of the mined resource types. Okay, those are not bad to have. Those are things I could possibly use. Maybe, you know what, now it's the end of the video. Let me put these here. So maybe I've got a little more room for these on the screen. Okay, so now we are going to go up to cycle 4. I'm going to offload my footage. I will be right back. All right, so I'm back. We're starting the 4th round here, and the Corrupted Crew needs to draw a Corrupted House card, and they get Dunlork. Okay, so they advance with influence on Dunlork, and now they are going to try and go to the Dunlork arc ship, but it does not appear that there is one anymore. So we're going to try again, and when they do that, they advance on the tactics track. So this goes up to 8. 8 says that I need to get rid of up to 2 hidden influence cards from hand and just take the influence from the track. So I've got one Belatan here that goes away, and I go up on Belatan. So I lose a little versatility that way. And we're on dropship now. So can they find a dropship? Yep. There's the Dunlork dropship. I feel like they just did that. So they're going to land on this planet again and take the data cube, just as it states on that card. Okay, now it's my turn, and I mostly want to avoid the Revenant from blowing up twice, because I don't want to trigger that top card, because then I won't score for any of these cards, and that would not be good. And so I suspect I'm going to be flying my frigate around quite a bit, blowing up whatever I can blow up. And I'm going to want to, I'm higher on the tactics. I assume I'll stay that way. So if I have control over distributing damage in 5 sectors, I would definitely like this one, so I could take out that Xenor shuttle. And what else? I want to protect this shuttle and this shuttle. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I probably want my frigate to end up there, which means if I'm going to do any damage, I better do it down here. I don't want these to damage to take out this ship, for example. So let's start with this cadet. We're going to go to my frigate, and I'm going to do 1, and then I get a second move, and I'll not use the third. And now I'll shoot here, and that does 2 more damage here. Because 1 from here and 1 from here. And then I place a shield and an energy, or place a shield or an absorption and gain an energy in this sector. And then I can do 2 damage to adjacent sectors. I'm going to do 1 here and 1 here. And I do get to strafe. So I'm going to strafe 1. No, I don't get to strafe, not with a frigate. Well, I guess I'll just stay there then. Okay, so that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tactics. So I went up 2, gains me a neutronium, and we can't advance any further. And then I did forget, when I went to the frigate, I should draw 2 hidden influence cards and keep 1. So Xenor or Yarvek? I'm probably better off with Yarvek, because I'm trying to blow up Xenor if I can. So I'll take Yarvek. Is that what I want to do? Those might... I don't know. I guess I'll gain a Xenor just to maybe close the gap if I still have that at the end. So that was my main action. I don't have enough leftover moves to gain any energy, but let's take this bonus action. I'm going to play a card. And I went to my frigate, so no way to get a discount on that. But this costs 1 neutronium and 1 of anything else. And why don't I just get rid of this hidden influence card rather than spend a resource. And now I can remove 1 Voidborn ship from any sector. And let's just do this one here. I believe I do get a tactics for that, but I'm already at the top of the track. And then I also gain 2 energy. So we'll put some energy here, and this is played, so I'll put it face down here. Excuse me again. Okay, let me, that's it for my turn. Let me draw a hidden influence card from the Corrupted House deck for the Corrupted Crew, and they've got Dunlork again. Okay, late game Dunlork push. So this is going to advance. That energy just goes away, and now they would like to go to the Dunlork Fighter, which is available right here. And they don't do anything. That's fine. Okay, so what am I going to do? I wouldn't mind getting a 3rd data cube. I don't know if that's the best thing ever. It's not the worst thing ever. It's certainly not the worst thing ever. So let's do this. Let's use my captain, and I am going to get on the Belatan dropship. I was thinking about perhaps using the Fenrax one, but I'll use Belatan, which means I advance 1 with Belatan. And because it's my captain, when I move, I get an extra move. So I'm going to go from here and then move again to this planet. And there are 2 arc ships, 3 house ships. We're okay in that sector. So I'm landing on this planet here, gain the data cube. That's my 3rd data cube. So now I grab a hidden influence card. I draw 2, pick 1. And so I get Yarvek and Yarvek. So Yarvek it is, and I will take the top action to gain 1 energy and 1 neutronium. So those go here. And then there's also a mining action, which I don't immediately trigger, but I use the Belatan dropship, and I'm going to do this bonus action here, and I'm going to play a Belatan card, I'm going to pay full price, but then it'll let me play a second card. So this is a command card, and this says I got to pay two of any resources. So I'm going to pay 2 materials, and now I can gain 3 resources of any mix from the mined resource types. So that was energy and neutronium. So I think I'll grab 3 neutronium. Got a bunch of neutronium now, a bunch of energy. That's looking pretty decent. So I've played this card, and because that was a Belatan card and I was on a Belatan ship, I can play another card. And I could play Inquisition now and do 2 Void Residue. I could get these 2, which would bring them back here, which would be fine, but then I would trigger this twice, which would get me, I don't need any tactics. It would give me 2 science, which would leave me with 3 science, and then on my next turn I could promote my captain, but I think that's going to be too little too late on the last turn of the game. Probably not worth enough points. I'm probably better off playing this as my second card and I guess getting some resources out of it, which might be worth something if Dunlork gets picked here. I think Xenor is going to get picked though. Boy, oh boy. I think it's still better off playing this. I'll have some leftover resources that'll probably score me okay. So this is going to cost 1 energy and 2 science. I've got 1 science and 1 House Yarvek card. So this is a cadet card. I'm going to place it next to my cadet. So I've got a 4th one of those now. Oh, and that cadet's already gone, so I'm not even going to be able to use it. Well, that's kind of silly. I thought I was at least going to have the opportunity to use it. I was not thinking that I've already played that cadet. Well, okay, let's bring these resources back. Bring back that Yarvek card for a second. We can unwind that. Change my mind. I will play Inquisition then. So that costs 2 neutronium and 1 of something else. Might as well be an energy since I seem to have a lot of energy. And so now I can contain corruption twice. 1, 2, and this is still my captain's turn. So when my captain contains corruption, we gain science. And if we weren't at the top of the tactics track, we would also advance tactics. So, okay, that was my turn. Now the corrupted crew gets 1 more turn. So we draw a corrupted house card, we get Novaris. So that advances, that's higher than I thought it would be. And now they're going to the Revenant, and they want to go to the jump space, which is here. Let's not forget to flip this card over, even though it has no bearing on anything at this point. Let's remember to do it. And so they will choose the colony card where they have the most influence. That's going to be Xenor. That's going to be this one of the other options, because Dunlork is a little lower. Chevaeus is lower than that. Had it been, like, had Novaris been up here where they're tied, it says just choose randomly. So Xenor is going to be worth a little bit more. And we have no token to move because this is the last round, so we'll be jumping to this planet. Fair enough. Now it is my turn. I've got 1 turn left. How can I best use it? I almost want to take this Xenor ship and just move it here and just leave it there. And then when it comes time to distribute damage, it'll get destroyed. And if I do that, my frigate will still be here. So I'll control here, and these 2, and these 2. So the Voidborn will control these 3. They would take out my Fenrax shuttle then, which I wouldn't love, but it'd be great to blow that up. Because they would lose, this, if this goes down, they're going to lose, what is that, a 6? They're going to lose 6 points for that. But in all likelihood, I'm better off doing other things. So similar to last round, I'm going to send this cadet, my bottom cadet, to the Fenrax arc ship, go up 1 influence with Fenrax, and then again, take this bottom action to copy my frigate. So I'm going to move my frigate, and I have 2 extra moves, so I'm going to go 1, 1, 2. Used all my movement. Now I'm going to attack. So it's going to do its base 1 damage plus 1 damage. So 2 damage total. 1, 2. And then what else here? I'm going to place a shield in this sector and gain 1 energy. There's another energy. Okay. And I could do 2 damage in adjacent sectors. I'm going to do 1 here because there's no reason to do that, and 1 here because that's not really doing much for me. So I've taken out 4 Voidborn ships. I can't go up on tactics at all though, so I just discard these, and I have no leftover movement. I can. Oh, this is if I land on a house ship. I am not. Oh, I am on a house ship. I'm on a Fenrax ship. I can repair 2 damage and gain a materials. I might as well get the materials. So I think that's it for my main action. And then I could take a bonus action. If I can get one more resource, which I could do very easily. I know groups of 4 resources are worth points at the end of the game, but I think I would get. Oh, wait, I've got to activate this too. For at the end of this cadet's action, 1 science for each of your crew members on a ship with a different house affiliation. And I've got a Fenrax and a Belatan. I can grab 2 science, but I only have space for 1. I did grab this material a minute ago. I could just resolve those in the opposite order and get 2 science instead of a material and a science. I don't know that it matters. But yeah, this is all full. So I was thinking, depending on what action I do, like, am I better off keeping the resources or spending some? You know, we know this is going to be in play, extra influence for the rank of your captain, so I should probably level up my captain. Again, seems, too little too late, but it's probably what I'll do. I'll rank up my captain. 1, 2, 3, science. Just move some of this down. And this goes up to here. Okay, that'll get me some points. And that is it for that phase. So now we come here. We're going to recall everyone. 1, 2, and 3. Far away. Farther away than it looks. All the way on the other side of space. And then 1, take that off the planet. 2, 3, I guess take that off the planet too. And now we do another skirmish phase. My tactics are higher. I am in sector 8, so I'll also control 7, 1, 6. Oh no. And 2. How did I mess that up? What did I do on that last turn? Because that ain't gonna work for me. I'm rolling that back. We were like so. This had been here. This was my bottom cadet, and I went 1 and then 2 bonus movement. I've got to go 1, 1, 2 bonus movement to here. Do my 1 bonus damage. Only do 2 damage. Is that right? That's right. I could do 2 damage here. Can I choose to forfeit it? I may choose to forfeit it. I will. So I'm going to move there, do no damage. Oh, I've got to do at least 1. Okay, that's fine. I'll do 1 damage here. And then I will not place the shield. I did take the energy. I'm not going to take any bonus damage. I will do 2 bonus damage in adjacent sectors. Yeah, this will be fine. I'll do that 2 bonus damage here still. So I've taken out 3 Voidborn Fleet Power instead of 4. My tactics was already maxed. So, okay, that all checks out. That's fine. Nothing else affected. But yeah, I really need to control this top half. I don't control these bottom 3, sectors 2, 3, and 4. Okay. That was critical. So, as I said, still learning the game. So, skirmish phase, sector 1 is under my influence, 1 damage to do, and it doesn't matter as long as I don't put it on that shuttle. So, we'll put it on Novaris. Now it's these 3 sectors are up to the corrupted crew, but there's no damage to do here, 1 to do here, but there's a shield, and then no damage to do here. So now it's all back under my influence. 1 damage here. I'm doing it to the Xenor shuttle. That was really important, so they go down to 1 now. That's a lot of points gone. 2 damage here. There's no choice. It has to go to the Revenant. Here's 1, 2 damage. And in this sector, 1 damage. I distribute it. I'm doing it here to Dunlork. So I'm going to blow up that fighter. So that took away 5 points from my opponent. And then unfortunately, 2 damage here. We got to blow up this Cheveus dropship, but I've got enough dropships that's okay. So it's actually going to take away 3 points from my opponent. So that worked out. Revenant never exploded. That's great. And this is the only sector. Oh no, that one too. Technically, we need to corrupt something here. I'll put it on Cheveus because thematically that's funny. And there we go. That doesn't really affect anything though. And now we go into endgame scoring. So we need to reset the tactics track and gain any bonuses there. And so I am going to gain an influence at the house of my choice, and I will gain a hidden influence card. And then I reset back down to space 2. So let me grab the hidden influence. And with my captain's new rank, I draw 3, pick 1. So it could be Xenor, Belatan, or Fenrax. That's pretty good choice. So Belatan would get me 4 points. Fenrax would get me 4 points. Xenor would get me 1 point. So it doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and go with Belatan because they've been my people. And I get to gain an influence with a house of my choice, and we'll do Fenrax, and that gets me a resource. I don't think that helps me, but I'll take it. And let's start to do this. All right, so for this colony card, House Xenor, it's as if they have one more ship. It's just the power goes up one, so we'll just go ahead and flip this from a 1 to a 2. And also 2 influence times your captain rank. That'll be an extra bonus. What else? I've got 2 hidden influence cards, so I'm just going to move up on the tracks. 1 for Yarvek and 1 for Belatan. And we can flip those over so I don't forget. And I think we're ready. So let's score the corrupted side first. And their side is really easy. You just do this multiplier as normal. You know, their influence level times the power level of the house for each of the 7 houses. And then for their tactics, wherever their tactics ended, they were in an 8. It's you just multiply that number by 3. So they're going to get 24 from the tactics track. And then for Fenrax, they will get 8. They're going to get 3 for Cheveus. They'll get another 2 times 2, 4 for Yarvek. And they're at 3 at Belatan times 4 is 12. And they'll get another 12 from Xenor. And 6 for Novaris. And finally 5 for Dunlork. So that is a total of 74. Now for me, I'm going to get these multipliers as well, so let's go through all these for blue. So for Fenrax, it's 5 times 4. So 20 points, that's a strong start. Nothing for Cheveus, 2 points for Yarvek, 32 points for Belatan, that's pretty good. 2 points for Xenor, and that's it. So that gets me to 56. I've got my my agenda cards here. 6 points if there's 4 or more drop ships. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, the last one I used up there, that Belatan one, and then 5 there. So we have enough. So that's 6 points for that one. And then 6 points if I have 3 or more in-play cadet cards, and I do. So I get another 6 points. I'm up to 68. And then my in-play cadet and frigate cards are worth 2 points each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be 10 points. Played command cards. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Really? I played 4? I didn't think I played that many. Good for me. 4 of those are 1 point each. And then your captain's rank is where it's 0, 2, 4, or 6 points. So that's 4 points for this. And then don't forget this bonus is another multiplier of 2 points for that. So again, 0, 2, or 4 points. And then 1 point for every 4 resources rounded down. I've got 4, 8, and then these 2 aren't worth anything. So it's another 2 points. And then I lose 2 points for every corruption on my frigate board, not including these void residue spaces, just these spaces here. So 0, so I don't lose any points. So that gets me to 92. So I believe the final score is Narrator 92 and Corrupted Crew 74. So pretty decent win if I did that all correctly. But again, this is only my 3rd time playing, so if you think I made a mistake, please let me know in the comments. I will try and keep an eye out as I edit this as well. But if I did that right, then this is my first win at all. And again, it's only my 3rd game, all on normal mode. So that would be cool if it was a win. And I'll just try and give you some general thoughts. So first of all, I like the game a lot. Real happy to have it. I will be playing it more. I'll definitely have it on the channel more, so you can expect that. Like and subscribe if you would like to make sure you see those videos when they come out. But yeah, let me give you some thoughts, and I'll be kind of all over the place with this. But yeah, overall, very positive. I like the game. I have noticed the game board can get a bit overcrowded. We saw that in Sector 1 over here during this game. It hasn't been a real big deal, but it's just something I noticed. It can get a little bit crowded. Of course, I ended up with the Admiral's edition. That was sort of an accident. It seems like that was an error on the side of the crowdfunder. Not the publisher, not the fulfillment center, not me, but on the crowdfunding site. But in any case, I ended up with the minis. I've only played it this way, and I can play it with the minis on the channel so you can see it. The minis are fine. Like, I didn't order them because I wasn't going to use them. I might try my hand at painting them now just because I've got them and I can, but I don't see really wanting to play with them because so many ships can come off of this board and then ships go back on the board as well. And I don't really want to be messing with taking the minis on and off each time, because as I take these off the board, I have chosen to just replace them back in the tray as I go. So everything stays like nice and organized off on my side table. And if every time I do that, if I've got to take the mini off, then I've got to have like the 4 different mini boxes out and be putting that away. And then when we build a new ship, I've got to go find that stuff and reassemble. Like, it's not hard to do, but it's more steps. And I would rather just take this off the board and put it in the tray and be done with it. It seems a little bit easier this way. So I'm not particularly a minis person to begin with. So, think about that as you assess my statement as well. But I think I prefer to play this way. And everything looks great. Everything is still readable. I don't see anything personally for me, where I would gain a lot of benefit from having the minis on the board. I will note, of course, this board is two-sided and they're functionally the same, but the artwork is different. The other side's got all this corruption sort of coming around and surrounding the ship. It looks really cool. I think this way is a little cleaner to look at. So next time I play on the channel, I'll use the other side of the board just so you can kind of see it. It's just busier artwork. I still love it. It's great artwork, but thought this one would be a little bit more clear to tell what's going on because there's a bit to keep track of. In reference to the solo mode specifically, these two helper cards are really great. I never flipped it over this time because I've kind of gotten the hang of it. But the backside of this one, this one tells you, what to do on the on their turn. On the corrupted crew's turn, the backside tells you their priority for skirmishes, and it has reminders for what to do in the rift phase, and it reminds you that in the hyperjump phase you remove 3 voidborn fleet power without gaining any tactics. Like, that's all really good stuff. It would have been nice if it was not double-sided. It makes sense, but like this one's single-sided, like just so you can kind of see what you need without having to flip it over. Like I kind of kept forgetting to flip it over this playthrough, but I kind of remembered what to do, so it wasn't too bad. So these are really good. Remember, this one is correct. The rule book as far as these two steps, placing crew members on corrupted spaces and advancing the tactics, that happens all the time. Hopefully I didn't forget to do it in this video. And then placing their captain also corrupts the ship. That only happens in hard mode. So that's not what the rule book would tell you, but go by this card. The card is correct. But yeah, this whole system is pretty easy to run. It's not too bad, and it seems like a lot of rules when you first start in terms of how to prioritize things, like especially when they want to build a ship or they're trying to destroy a ship. But it makes a lot of sense after you play it a couple times. It starts to sink in. It's not too tough. But there's definitely a trick in trying to advance on just a small number of houses, get really high and make sure they have a lot of ships at the end, versus trying to do things with a lot of houses and scoring a little bit from each. And it's really, really key to make sure the ships where they're advancing are getting blown up. So gameplay wise, strategically, I don't think that's any sort of big revelation, but it is a very tight rope to walk. You don't have a lot of wiggle room because speaking about the game more broadly, you've only got 12 turns in this game, and that feels like not very many. And it feels that way to me. Just thinking out loud, 12 turns doesn't sound like much, but also now having played it a few times, 12 turns is not a lot of stuff to do. And so it's still fun, but it feels very tight. I almost wish I had a third cadet and that I could take 4 turns per round or per cycle, because I'm just trying to figure out how to set up combos, and there's just not a lot of space to do all the things you want to do. And that's not a criticism, but if I can make a comparison, it kind of reminds me of, I played not too long ago a few games of Speakeasy, and I think in that game you get 13 turns in total. And, again, it didn't feel like a whole heck of a lot. So personally, I think I'm just more comfortable with a game arc where I have more turns and the bonuses are a little bit more incremental, as opposed to every single placement having so much weight. It feels like a lot. I do a lot more thinking in this game than I do in most of my games. A lot of AP. And again, not a criticism, but not quite what I was expecting. The other big worker placement Mind Clash game that comes to mind is Anachrony, and you can get a lot more than 3 turns in a round in that game. I'm thinking, because you can take your workers and put them in the mechs, and there's that whole worker placement element, but you've also got the free action markers, and you could do all sorts of little things on your personal board. And so it's kind of like having the free actions be gone, and you again only get an X amount of workers. If you're thinking about Anachrony, as if there were no energy cores or any other way to power up more than 3 suits. How tight would that game get? That's kind of how this feels to me. It's a little bit claustrophobic in that respect. But again, that's not strictly a negative thing. It's just I want to do so many things. I want to do more. Compared to my other 2 playthroughs, I think my first one, the final score was 80 to 71, so I was kind of close. The second game, I think the corrupted crew was they had a very similar score. It was 82, 83, and I was in the 30s. I got wrecked. So in that game, I did a lot less attacking. My tactics didn't go up and keep up as much, so they got to decide where the damage went a lot more. There were even fewer ships than this at the end of the game. Like, it really got decimated. The Revenant blew up twice, so the Revenant was just gone. And I had wasted one of my actions selecting a colony. And when the Revenant blows up twice at the end there, then the colony card is gone. So I didn't even get the bonuses that I wanted for that. So it can really get away from you. I've had a lot of success. Not a lot of success. I may have just won my first game, but I've been successful with this strategy, where I get extra damage on my frigate. I've done that a couple times now, and that's been really helpful. And definitely it's important to get some of these cards on your cadets so that you're getting some bonuses for that. 4 command cards is probably the most that I've ever played, so I'm getting better in that respect. Just being able to figure out how and when to use those. But I didn't hardly use my captain ability at all this game. I know there's other routes that I haven't explored, like pushing this captain level a lot. In the game that I lost, even though I lost, I had some really cool combos where I got more of these activations on some of my frigate cards. So when I took this activation bonus action, like all this stuff was popping off and it was pretty cool. But I focused more heavily in that game trying to hit a lot of the planets and using dropships more. And I didn't have much success with that. I need to explore that route a little bit more to make it work. I don't know if I've ever used a fighter. I'm like not using those at all. I may have done it one time, but that feels like a particularly weak action to me unless you've got some sort of bonus or combo. Like maybe if I had put this card on this cadet and I was able to put that on a fighter, you could do a lot of stuff, but I just happened to have a frigate that could do a lot of damage, so I didn't really have any need for fighters this time. Then I don't know if it's my play style or like the random draw of cards, but every game that I've played, just by chance, the solo opponent has pushed Xenor really hard every time. And so I've tended to go high on Belatan, and I don't know if they had pushed if they didn't have any Xenor cards, would I still go Belatan? This was the first time I kind of pushed the Fenrax track, and that was pretty cool. I liked their copy frigate ability because I had built up my frigate to do some cool stuff anyway, so getting to activate that twice per round was really nice. But some of these houses, I just haven't really explored their stuff very much, like Dunlork or Yarvak, and I would like to. So I just wonder how viable some other strategies are that I haven't tried yet. One random note, thematically, just sort of the pairings of bonuses and resources with houses I mostly like. Energy for Dunlork is perfect. Tactics for Novaris is great. Materials for Fenrax, I mean, they're associated with carriers and Voidfall. That kind of makes sense to me. Even though carriers, you need to spend food, but like you're deploying ships and in theory building ships, so materials make sense. I want to say Purify, but that's not right. The Contain Corruption with Cheveus, absolutely spot on. These 3 I take issue with. I feel like they're probably the way they are because it needs to be balanced this way for the game. But thematically, I think Science is much more strongly associated with Xenor than Belatan. Belatan is data cubes in my mind. That's the data cube place. And then Yarvak and Neutronium, because they've got, out of Voidfall, the hyperdrive. Like, these 3 need to be shifted down and then looped around one. I think I can't wrap my head around that. It's going to take me forever to remember what their bonuses are. But maybe that's just because I've lived in the Voidfall universe so heavily for a little while now. But anyway, yeah, these captain boards, don't forget, are double-sided. So there's something different on the back. There's 4 of them, and they've got different stuff going on. So I've got a lot more to explore there. And then there's 4 of these frigate boards. I have noticed that some of the frigate and certain sides of the captain board, like the combos, some of them go together a lot more obviously than others. So as I start to play more, that's something I'll be aware of as I'm setting up or drafting this stuff if it's a multiplayer game. I haven't had the chance to play this multiplayer yet. I think it's going to be fine. I think it'll play great. I'll be happy to do it. It'll be interesting to watch how these tracks move when everybody's got different stuff and we're sort of how the whole interplay goes between building ships and blowing up ships, and the whole resetting of the tactics track will be totally different multiplayer. The turn order shifting, that'll be different. It'll be very interesting, but I still can't help but feel that this is a perfect setup for a co-op game, and I've got to figure out how to do a multiplayer co-op mode, because that feels like it would be that would be the best way this game could be played in my mind. Oh, and on that front, minor gripe. So there's 3 dice here, one for 4-player games, one for 3-player games, one for 2 and 1 player. And I just think, you've already got 3 dice. You could have just separated the 2-player die and the 1-player die, so you didn't need to do this like subtract 1 from the center with a minimum of 1. That whole little side rule is like not difficult to do, but we've already got 3 dice in the game. We probably could have had a 4th. But anyway, those are some of my thoughts. I really like the game. I'll be playing it more. I've been playing it all week because, again, I had a coffee poll on my coffee page, ko-fi, link in the description. That is where you can go to support the channel. But I had a poll up there for all of my coffee contributors to decide what order I would release videos for Revenant, The Old King's Crown, and Vestige. And I think it seems like they're coming out in that order. There's like less than 24 hours at time of recording, but Revenant's in the lead, so this is first. But let me know in the comments what you think of me holding polls on my coffee page to help determine the order of videos coming out. Is that something that you're cool with? And while I'm talking about my coffee page, here are my coffee contributors. The reserve seating section is for all of my monthly contributors, everyone with an ongoing monthly contribution, because at coffee you can make a contribution to Table for One for as little as $1, and you can do that either one time or recurring, you decide. So that's one way to get your name on the screen. And then the Head of the Table award is for the top 10 contributors over the last 90 days. So thank you to everyone who has helped out the channel. You help bring you help make it happen. So I don't know what else to say besides thank you. Again, you can like the video, you can subscribe. I'll put this on Board Game Geek. You can like it over there, comment. You can get yourself a Table for One micro badge if you want to support the channel. It costs 8 geek gold. You can send me a direct message on Board Game Geek if you need the 8 geek gold. I imagine I can help you out with that. And so hopefully this helped you to learn the solo mode of Revenant. I'm still working my way through it a little bit. I'm sure I will work my way up to hard mode. I will continue to play it on the channel. There's a lot more depth here that I want to explore. But in any case, let's talk about it down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I made any mistakes. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to talk Revenant all day. But that's what I've got this time on Table for One. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun playing, and I will see you in the next video.